When people think of Latin America and the Caribbean, what comes to mind are palm trees, sea, sun, sand, rich music, spicy food, and perhaps a frozen cocktail. But this region is more than that. Over 570 million people live in Latin America and the Caribbean, with more than 650 indigenous communities. It is ranked as the richest and most diverse region on Earth for the number of plants and animals. But it is also the place where wealth is concentrated in the hands of the minority, with 50% of wealth in the hands of only 10% of the population, as compared with 30% in industrialized countries. There has been an unprecedented increase in the scale and pace of development, creating conflicts that arise or are made worse when people do not have the right to information, participation, and justice. And very often poor people receive negative impacts. Like in Belize, where the Mayan people have been taking legal action since 2006 to obtain recognition of their land rights, including the right to be consulted in decisions to allow oil exploration and forest concessions. Or in El Salvador, where about 100 families in the village El Chino were affected by poor water, which had been contaminated by agrochemicals, and they had been demanding information on water quality and access to clean drinking water for their community. Or in Jamaica, where civil society are taking legal action to get information on a proposed transshipment port planned to be built in the Portland Bight, Jamaica's largest protected area, a fish sanctuary and home to endangered species. In 2012, 10 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean agreed to do something to help change that. They agreed to work towards an agreement to promote standards for information, participation, and justice in environmental matters, a fundamental principle, Principle 10. Today, the number of countries that have joined the process stands at 20 and continues to grow. The moment is now. Countries begin negotiations in 2 weeks and plan to end in 2016. Can these countries create a better life for their people? Can these countries assure social peace for their people? We strongly believe so. This declaration on Principle 10 is the first of its kind in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is a process that involves the public throughout all the stages of negotiation. The minimum content for this document includes provisions that will bring rights to people and ways to effectively implement them. This means for the Maya in Belize, recognition of their right and for all indigenous people to participate in decisions. For the fishermen in Jamaica, the right to participate in development decisions that may affect the fish in their waters and ultimately their livelihood and ability to provide for their children. In El Chino, El Salvador, this means the right to obtain information on the quality of water for their area and the impacts of industries that use and discharge harmful waste into their communities. Civil society brings a message of the real problems people are facing to protect their land, livelihood, and natural resources. This input is key to push for an ambitious agreement. Thai partners have been educating people about their rights, like Melinda from the Justice Institute of Guyana, who has trained the Makushi Amerindians about their land rights. People are eager to learn about laws and procedures so they can be more effective. 20 countries will negotiate the draft sections on the provisions of access to information, participation, and justice in this regional agreement in 2 weeks. There are 600 people registered to receive information about the negotiation process, but only 20 people will make it to Panama due to funding constraints. Principal 10 Latin American Caribbean stakeholders can make a difference in the content of this regional agreement. We are with the people, and we know about the law, provisions, and the procedures. We are the Access Initiative, the world's largest civil society network with 21 partners in 19 countries actively supporting the agreement. The Regional Environmental Center is an international environmental organization working to support information and participation in decisions.